Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salute to you, Akim, pushing his words in sincerity and truth. Hey, brother, I sat back at you with another lesson, holding 35. And as we constantly bring it out, staying in the spirit of prophecy, right? And there's basically a certain reason why there's constant conflict or wars involving Israel, because the Lord has a plan for this place, right? Just recently they were fighting against the Palestinians. They fighting and taking over the Gaza Strip. Right now the Israelis, they on a roll, right? And we know, Netanyahu, we know the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, right? And the Lord is gonna sink you into a pit. The Lord is gonna sink you in a pit, because first they begin with, they claim themselves to be the true Israelites and whatnot, and they are the rightful owners of the land, and they even go to the extent of even driving out the own Palestinians, wherefore the 1948ers, that declaration where the land was split up and it was divided amongst the so-called Jews and the Palestinians and whatnot. The Lord is basically exposing you all. Here it is, you have Pink City and all sorts of wickedness, but yet you all are the chosen people. But the Lord, He revealing everything for what it actually is. What to know about the conflict. It says Israeli blister in attack with warpling and drones against Iran's nuclear and military structure has sparked. I believe they want to basically stop Iran from going into the missile advancements and operations, because the prophecy said they'll beat the plowshares into swords. Going back, they're gonna invest into the money and the resources into making weapons, right? Just as it say here in Isaiah 11 and the 5th chapter, right? Where it's 9 and 5. Let's say, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And this fuel of fire is talking about the missiles, nuclear warheads and whatnot. The Isaiah 54 speaks of the Lord created the smiths that blow the coals. So let's go here, as it mentioned, Israeli. Let's say open conflict between two long-time foes that threatens to spiral into a wider and more dangerous regional war. Since Friday, Israeli strikes have killed more than 200 people in Iran, including top generals and scientists, but also civilians. Iran has retaliated by launching hundreds of drone and missiles against Israel, some of which have penetrated Israel's vaunted aerial defense system, killing dozens of people. Alright? These here are some of the top Iranians killed in Israeli strikes. The chief staff for Iran's armed forces, head of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, commander in Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, and basically generals and men of high status that setting up these military operations, and scientists and whatnot. The region is already on edge as Israel seeks to annihilate the Hamas militant group, an Iranian ally in the Gaza Strip, where war still rages after Hamas attack on South Israel. Here's what to know about a 4-day-old conflict between Israel and Iran. Israel has long identified Iran as its greatest enemy and set its sight on what is said are two main threats: Iran's nuclear program and its arsenal of long-range missiles capable of striking Israel. And isn't this Esau's characteristics? They do harm unto others that was at peace with them. Look at that. Second Ezra. Second Ezra 11:24. For thou hast afflicted the meek. But this meek here is talking about the elect, the children of Israel. Thou hast heard the peaceable. It said, thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. So basically they feeling threatened, because they feeling threatened by Iran's nuclear program and long range missiles. They think it wise to attack first. Isn't this not showing the Lord is stripping away the wise men out of Edom? And verse 43, therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. Her time will come. Alright, these nations ain't gonna stick around, because the US back in Israel and whatnot don't make it seem well with them. It's on Friday, using warplanes and drones, it said, were previously smuggled into Iran. Israel targets Iran nuclear and military structure. The military said it attacked about 100 targets on the first night, including Iran's main nuclear enrichment facility in Natanz and a nuclear research facility in Isfahan, as well as radar installations and surface-to-air missiles launchers in western Iran. Israel said the attack was necessary to prevent Iran from building an atomic weapon. Iran has always insisted its nuclear program is peaceful. Didn't we read the doing harm unto them that was peaceable with them? The doing harm unto those that what Let's say, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Right, it's Iran also insisted its nuclear program is peaceful, and U.S. intelligence agency and the UN nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, has repeatedly said Iran was not pursuing a nuclear weapon when Israel unleashed its airstrikes. I mean, it's just war, a vibration of war in the air that is gonna lead up to Revelation. Um, Bertman. Revelation 11 and 14, it says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that woe going into great destruction, which is in the World War III. As you read, the war is gonna be with confused noise and battle, and weapons of war. Now with confused noise as long time men line up with spears and cutlasses, swords, shields, But this time is drones and long-range missiles and nuclear atomic bombs and etc. Fuels of fire. Right? The scripture say, and I said, this is to show you that this man's kingdom is coming to an end, because there's war in every place. There's war left, right, and center in this man's kingdom. And the scripture say, if the kingdom be divided, it wouldn't stand. And going back to the statue, basically, it showed that the iron was mixed with merry clay. I'll get that. Mark 3 and verses 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. You seen play, Babylon, leaving NATO, the BRICS alliance, which is aimed to combat with the US currency and the trades and whatnot. The trade war between China and the US. The whole world is basically showing you that hey, this place is crumbling and it's ready for a heavy fall. Let's say, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Yeah, the house is not gonna stand, because going back to the Daniel, where it speaks of the iron mix with clay, because we know clay and iron cannot mix. Daniel 2 and 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. And we see how this man's kingdom is basically divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much thou sawest the iron mixed with merry clay, as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Yeah. Yeah. And this is what you're seeing here now. Many wars, many wars in this kingdom. It's China, with the whole scene with Taiwan, Ukraine and Russia, Israel and Palestine, Israel and Gaza, Israel and Iran now, you know, and so it goes. And it's all gonna lead up back to the Zephaniah, the Lord's determination, right? Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord, until the day I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather all the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour out upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, and that fire going into the nuclear missiles and the chariots, the fire from the chariots. Joel chapter 3 and verses 2. And I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Because again, this is why the Lord has so many tensions in the Middle East. Because he planned to bring a great war there, World War III. And many nations would war against each other, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Yeah, because I would have it, because the scriptures say that the high places Ezekiel Ezekiel 36 and 2. Thus saith the Lord, because the enemy had said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye may be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are in the infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountain of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore thus saith the Lord, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land in their possession, with the joy of all the heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. Right? Yeah. And that is why the Lord said, Revelation 3 and 9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. And this is what you're seeing. Yeah, it is they are the holy people, the children of Israel and whatnot, but yet there is constant war in the lands. Didn't the Isaiah 2 and 3 speak of because speak of I'll start at 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established on top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow unto it. And many shall go and say, come and let us learn. Let us go up to the mount of the Lord, mountain of the Lord, and the house of Jacob, and the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And this here is not what you see now. Because you see, if they are the people and they have the get back the lands and all these things, why is there people lifting up sword? Why are they in all this havoc? Why are they in all this war? Why all this war is taking place? So this is why you know the Revelation 3 and 9. I will end up for this. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. They've been exposed, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Double and to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salute to you, Archium. Until the next one, I say Shalom.